Let's go back to our icon, an archetype of rebirth, resurrection and renewal, the Phoenix. As the Phoenix has been coming to the end of one of its many, many lives, it's been reflecting over its life and mapping out the highs and the lows, what led to those points and what he has and can learn from those things. He's looked at the parts of his life that he's satisfied with and other parts that could be improved, not in a self-critical way, but with a certain objectivity, like a mountaineer looking back over the peaks and valleys that they've traveled through. The Phoenix then looked towards the future, looking through the lens of his clearly defined values. He decided what he will not settle for in his next life. Then he envisioned how bad his life could become if he did not stick to those self-defined values and stay within his self-defined lane. It's a vision that still scares him, and it should. But now, the Phoenix is about to start going through the most catalyzing stages of his transformation. And he's starting to look to the future and think about all the good that he has the potential to become. Now is his chance to decide who he is going to be in his next life. Just as the Phoenix is readying for his transformation, you too have the chance to decide who you will become. The life that you've lived so far is not a sealed book. It's a treasure map filled with clues that will inform you on your journey forward. Your experiences, your passions, your talents, the things that you're most curious about are all pieces of the puzzle that you can use to put together the image of your future. You are already standing atop a mountain of experience and value. Within your head, there is a wealth of resources waiting to be mined. At the 2005 Stanford commencement, Steve Jobs shared how his own curiosities and passions led in part to the creation of the Macintosh computer. He said that much of what I stumbled into by following my curiosity and my intuition turned out to be priceless later on. He continued with, "Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college, but it became very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. So you have to trust that somehow the dots will connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever." In the last lesson, I talked about you embodying the role as your own main character in your life. From this point forward, start to also see yourself as the author of your own life. It's time to start thinking about and asking yourself, what do you really want? I'm not talking about what you think you should do. I'm not talking about what you think someone else thinks that you should do. I'm talking about what you truly want. What would light you up? What would light a fire within you that is inextinguishable? I didn't mean what do you want in a hedonistic or impulsive way from some immediate gratification, pleasure-seeking perspective. I mean, what do you really want to get out of your life? Who do you want to become? What kind of legacy do you want to leave? Coming from your own heart, your authentic self. What things are going to give you the most meaning and joy and give you lasting fulfillment if you do them? There is a really easy exercise that you can do that will help you to open your mind and think about what you truly want and what you should pursue. You simply start by asking yourself this question. In 3 to 5 years from now, if money was no object, and you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? And who would you become? Take 5 to 10 minutes to write down as many things as possible that you would like to do. Once you've done that, you're going to go through each thing on your list and give it a rating between 1 and 10 on how exciting and meaningful that thing would be for you. 1 is not exciting or meaningful at all, and 10 is the most exciting and meaningful thing that you could ever do. Right, once you've done that, now you're going to go through your list again and give each thing a second rating. This time you are going to rate each thing by the level of belief that you could do it in the next 3 to 5 years. Again, rating it between 1 and 10. 1 being absolutely no chance at all, and 10 being absolutely without a doubt. So once you've done that, you will now have 2 scores for each thing on your list. And you're just going to go through and add up each score for each thing. So you'll have a final score for each item on your list. That final score on each of the desires on your list is a good indicator on whether or not that thing is something that you should pursue or not. The higher the number, the better it is. Maybe you should pursue that thing. If it's got a really low number, maybe you shouldn't pursue that thing. We all have interests that seem to call out to us, and sometimes it doesn't even feel like we choose them, but they choose us. When you watch a sport or a performance or a certain movie, or you just see someone doing something that they love and they're completely immersed within it, something within that thing jumps out to us and grabs hold of our attention and our curiosity, while the person next to us couldn't seem to care less. Yet that person has their own thing that captivates them, seemingly without their choosing. The key to finding what lights you up is out there in the world, but only through observing yourself will you see it. You'll see it in a moment when something has whisked you up and caught your true self, your full attention in its grasp, reflecting back to you the possibilities of your own untapped potential.